What is up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name is Fareed. Today, we're going to be talking about Rookiez, a motorcycle manager racing game developed by a key contributor here from the EU community, David from Studio Malacca. Without any further ado, let me bring David up so we can chat about this indie style game. David, welcome aboard, man. How are you?
Thank you, Farid. Thank you, Farid. I'm very well. Thank you very much for the huge opportunity.
No, not a problem. It's my pleasure again. You've been a huge supporter here on my channel since like day number one, and you continue to be one of the biggest supporters here on the channel. So this is the least that I can do in terms of just kind of repaying and hopefully pushing the opportunity forward, right?
How
No,
can you not be a supporter of your channel? I mean, you create very amazing content and you support all the creators around. So it's a pleasure to support you. It's the minimum.
thank you. Thank you. That really does mean a lot. The Cardano community has been huge and a big reason and a big piece of the fuel, right? That keeps me going. So I definitely do appreciate that. Now, this is your second time here. We've had a previous interview, and I'll go ahead and leave the link to that down below for the viewers here, in which we've talked about, Rookiez, what it is, and potential catalyst proposals. We're now back up to funding round number 11, right? So I think we kind of both just kind of collaborated and thought, hey, this would be a good idea to kind of get an update on Rookiez and then potentially also chat about some upcoming proposals. So let's jump into Rookiez first. Can you explain for somebody who's hearing about Rookiez for the first time, what is it and why, have you chosen to go down this path here, building something like this?
Yeah, for sure. Rookies is, as you said, is a motorcycle racing manager game, and I decided to develop this game for a long time already. It's something that I have in my mind for many years. And it's this kind of managing game that will take a lot of time because it works almost in real time. So you have races that are planned to be executed every week, or better, every Cardano epoch, so every 5 days. So that means that it's a kind of game that is played usually for a very long time, months or even years. Then for this kind of game, I think that the best approach to follow is to use NFTs, because this is the only way that you can provide the users and the player the full ownership and control over their assets. I explain myself a little better. If you find a new rider and you decide to train it for a long time, then you can increase your skills and you make it a valuable asset for you. Then I think that you should decide by yourself what you can do with it. If you want to sell it, you can sell it. If you want to keep it or give it to somebody else, you are totally free to do that. And that should not be my business, but only players, only the strategy of the players that should count in this area. So yeah, I'm developing this game for now almost 2 years, and it's a very big project, so it will take still a little bit of more time, but we are making progress, and I already have an alpha version, a pre-alpha version that is available for everybody to try it out. And this was one of the requirements also for the catalyst proposal that I wrote, that is in the solution category. That means that you need to have MVP or alpha version of your project to already available for the users. So here I am.
Yeah. First and foremost, congratulations on getting an alpha out. I think at the time that you first came on here, you were still in the very early stages. And if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, I mean, you're doing a lot of the heavy lifting here by yourself, right? And so it really goes
Yes.
again to show your commitment to getting a product out there and continue to push forward. Whereas a lot of projects on Cardano are made up of, full stack teams, where you've got marketers, etc. They've got all the pieces to the puzzle, whereas you're kind of taking a much more different route. And I think again, that's why Catalyst has been a huge part for you, right? So go ahead. Do you want to say something there?
Yeah, I mean, you are totally right. Usually there are huge teams or big teams that are developing projects like this one, but this is a little bit different from the usual games that you found on Cardano on any other blockchains. It's not an FT game or a play-to-earn game, but it's more similar to a regular game that uses NFTs. I mean, the difference is subtle, but it's in other extent it's huge because as I said, there is no token, and the value of your asset depend only on your playing style and what you do in the game. So there are no marketplaces, and this makes the situation a little bit harder because if there is no direct way to get funds, then it may be a little bit difficult to find a way to proceed further and complete the project. So that's why I decided to use Catalyst, and I hope that this time it will get better, because the last time I got a lot of positive votes, but there was a general issue with downvotes, and Rookiez was one of the projects that had this use problem and didn't get further for that.
Yeah, again, very unfortunate. I know that your project was not the only one that was impacted by the huge downvoting
Exactly.
issue, which is why we saw three big changes coming out of Project Catalyst. For anybody who isn't aware, the first and the biggest change was the fact that downvotes are now removed, right? So you can either vote for a project or you can abstain to vote for that particular project. In addition, I believe there's now a limit on the amount of co-proposals that one particular person can be on, given the fact that we saw people, launching up to like 30 or 40 different proposals, right? Which just isn't
Exactly.
feasible from something like Project Catalyst. So I believe now the limit is five. And you're basically available, if you put your name on more than five, you're only eligible for the latest or the most recent five. And then,
Exactly.
as David alluded to, I think the very last update was just the categories, right? So previously, all of the proposals were just kind of lump sum in one gigantic category. Moving forward, there's now three separate categories. There's the ideation or the idea stage, where you're basically just, putting together ideas that don't necessarily have a working prototype. There's the solution stage where David's proposal is going to fall, where you have a working prototype that you can actually share with the Project Kaila's team. And then there's also the product phase, where you actually have a full blown product that's live on the mainnet and you're looking to enhance or add future utility to that platform. So again, this is just showing the power of the Cardano community. And I think that you're going to be much more poised, David, to actually earn the Catalyst funding this time, because of the fact that I think that a lot of the competition that you would have been pitted against last time, right, is not going to apply, especially if a lot of those projects that were being funded were in the idea phase or in the full product phase. So
True.
I'm wishing you the best there on that end. So now that
Thank
we're
you.
just maybe kind of on that topic, can you maybe just highlight quickly, what proposals are out for rookies and why those proposals are needed?
Yeah, this time I decided to make one single proposal and to put everything inside it, because probably is the best approach, because I need a more combined the solution for getting the project in the gold phase. So in that proposal that you can find in the link that I provide you via email, you can see that I'm looking for hiring several different kind of people. I want somebody else that can help me with development, but also I need people that can help me with the graphics, with the marketing, and with other aspect of the game. So there is a list of people that I already described that is part of the proposal as a team members that already wanted to help me out. But also I'm in contact with other professionals and game studios that will provide the necessary help when these games will be funded. So I really hope that the situation now is more clear. The proposal is very detailed. You can take a look, and there is a description about every aspect of the requirement that I have. Also, having the previous experience with Fontaine, then I know better what was the issue about the description in my proposal. Having three different proposals like I did last time was a little bit confusing for people, because it was not clear about the real requirement of a project like this. And as I mentioned before, it's a very big project, and it's not really possible to complete it all by myself. I have a clear idea about what I need to finish it, but it will be uh, helpful to have somebody else, and that's why I decided to put everything there and make things totally clear.
Yeah, I tend to agree that when you have a proposal that's split into multiple pieces, number one, you're not getting the same reviewers reviewing the same pieces. But the number two, you're kind of fragmenting the efforts, right? And so I think, combining
Uh,
them. Mhm.
Yes, also makes things more clear for the reviewers and the people that have to vote for the proposal. They now have all the details they need, and they can make a very thought decision about this.
Yep. Yep. And again, the fact that I think you're in the solution phase also plays to your advantage, because a lot of people just have ideas without actual prototype or semi functional product. So now that we've kind of touched on Project Catalyst, let's maybe just talk a little bit about some of the changes that have been made since our last talk. As you mentioned, there's now an alpha version that's out for release. first and foremost, if people want to get access to the game, how can they do that? And then number two, what is actually available in the alpha right now?
Yes. Well, if you want, I can also share my screen and show a little bit about the game. Usually, the best way to access the game is to use a quick launcher. It's a Steam-like product that the Keyboard Warrior Internet Cafe put together to publish games on Cardano. So Rookiez is part of that now, and it can be accessed from there. It's very helpful because it will take care about all the updates by itself, so you don't need to download each time the new version from the website. For this kind of management game, it's very important to be up to date because there can be changes also in the protocol levels and the way the game communicates with its server. So it's a requirement to always be on the last version, and using the launcher, it's the easiest way to cover it because it will do everything for you. If sometimes it may take a little bit to have the latest version available on the launcher, so you can always access the build also on the website. You can see if you go to rookiez.org, you can download the latest version for Windows or for Linux. Mac OS version, I hope to make it available when we get funded, and after that, the next stage will be to provide a version for mobile system because everything is already built in a way that it will be easier to port to different platforms. So I really hope to expand the reach of
Nice to hear.
of the game. Yeah.
Nice to hear. Again, I'll leave all the official links down below. If you do want to go ahead and share your screen, you should be able to go ahead and do that. And what I'll go ahead and do is just kind of pull that up here, and you can walk us through, some of the changes and just what is available in the current alpha version.
So when you launch a game, this is the main window that appears. The first thing you have to do is to connect your wallet, of course, because you need to recognize what asset you have in your wallet. So you press the connect button. If it's a new wallet, you can just press the verify button, and the game will ask you to send a very small amount of ADA to this address that you can copy and send with your wallet, as you usually do. Once you have your wallet verified, you will receive a PIN code. It's a 5 numbers PIN code that you need to remember. Otherwise, you can get in contact with us to reset it. But then you can connect. You can use either your stake address, regular address, or red handle to connect. I'm using my handle here, and I put in my PIN code. Then you press the connect button, and that's it. You are connected. Now all the options here are available. The first thing you can see, the championship button. This will be available when the game will be published because it requires the championship to be started. But I will show you anyway because it shows how it really works. So there are many different leagues, like in a Football Manager game. Your goal is, if you start from a lower league, is to win the championship, to escalate and get in the top league, of course. You can think the first league as a MotoGP session, so the biggest one where all the champions are racing and all the top teams are racing. As soon as the championship will be available, you will see the rankings for your teams and your riders, and you can have access to all the races that have been occurred until now. Also, the past races are always available, like in a TV. And from this tab, now it's not completed yet, but you can put your name of your team. I used to have a Moto Guzzi, so I put that one. And you can change your aesthetic for your team. When you make a change here, they will be active only at the start of the next season, of course. Once you did that, you can access the paddock where everything happens. The paddock is the main interface of the game. From here, you can do everything. You can see all the motorbikes that you have in your wallet, in my wallet in this case. And from this window here, you can see all the riders and specialists you have. That is very important because after every race, you will have an update about their skills. If you train your riders, you click there, you can see their skills and they can improve with the training, of course. On the left side, you see all your riders. And on the right side, you can see the specialists that can always ride a bike for training, but of course they are older in as an age, so they're not ideal for competing in the championship, but are very important for all the other aspects. So here I have 6 different specialists. I have a coach that will help with training. Scouts are very important because they are the kind of specialists that you use to find other riders that can be young and promising, or you can also ask them to find another kind of specialist if you need them. For example, in this moment, I don't have any mechanic that is, they are a crucial asset for repairing your bike after an accident or to apply the result of your research. But I have a couple of scouts. I have doctors that take care of the health of your riders in case of accidents or just to improve their physical condition, and engineers that will take care of research. You can give your orders to your team specialist from the offices. As you can see, I don't have any mechanics, so I cannot click there, but I can give order to my riders. Every kind of training will help improve some kind of skills of your riders. You can have the details accessing the website. I can ask my coach to focus more on the training results, on the motivation of the riders, because motivation is very important for achieving maximum results. As I mentioned before, the scouts can usually find new riders, but you can, if I need to find a mechanic, I can ask them to do so, and they will remember this decision for the next time I access the game. Engineers will take care of improving the parts of the motorbikes. You can decide to take care of all the parts at once, or if you have specific needs, you can just select the part that you need to improve in a better way. And the doctor, of course, can usually take care of the health of your riders, but you can also ask them to be more focused on the performance. So if your riders are healthy, you can achieve a better result in your training, focusing more on the performance. Sometimes when your scout finds somebody, but sometimes you can also have a random motivation letter arriving in your mailbox, you can hire new people from here. So you can access the mailbox. In this case, I see I have a new rider that asked to join my team. I can decide to hire him, pressing the hire button, and now I will press it to show it, and this will create a new NFT for you. And now you see that it stopped because a new window appeared on my screen. It is one, and it's asking for sending the required ADA to acquire and hire the new rider. So now animal. This here there is an animal here as well. Maybe those. Who knows? Verify. I'm using Maker, of course, for minting process, and it's important to say that for developing this game, I created a component for the Unity game engine to access the Maker API, so everybody can do the same thing from their game. I hope that I can help other game developer to join our ecosystem. Just a second, I put my password. And while the process is going on, I can, of course, keep using the game. When this image will disappear, that means that I will have my new rider in the team, between the team members. Same thing if you need new motorbikes. You can always ask for to get a new motorbike prototype. Now there is a mint operation in progress, so I cannot really do that, but usually you press the request button and you can have another prototype. For the new teams, usually have a standard reference prototype, but if you proceed in the season, then the motorcycle you will get, they are depending on the research you did on your current motorcycle. So if you do research and thanks to your engineers, then you will get different kind of prototype based on your research. From the motorcycles here, you can, of course, assign people. You can see the characteristic. Now they're very basic motorcycles, so it's not very good, but you will improve them with research. And you can decide who will drive this motorcycle, choosing between your riders or even your specialist. They can also take part of the training. Once you did that, you can access the test track. The test track is what you do for automatically both training and research. If you have coaches, you can access those two circuits. And if you have engineers, you can access those two as well. In any time, you can decide who will take part of the training. You can also decide to drive your motorbike, impersonating one of your riders by checking this box. But if you don't want, if you do that or not, everything will contribute to the result of your training and research. So now I decided just to use AI, and your riders will start the training session. You can watch all of them. You can change the camera view to better see what they are doing. There are very many kind of cameras views to better see what is happening in the race. It's important to complete all the required laps, usually are 3 or 5, to obtain a result of your training. But if you are in a hurry, you can just skip it and decide to quit and go back to the paddock. And yeah, as I mentioned, you can also decide to drive, which is another circuit, and using this rider. And this will give you a more arcade-like experience, so you can really drive your bike using your keyboard or joypad in a perspective view. Now the AI for the other riders are set in a lower level, so for me it will be easy to overtake them. But you need to be careful, because if you make an accident like this, you risk to damage your bike and also to injure your rider. And of course, the training session will end. Takes a while just to to close it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's more or less what is available for the time being. Everything is ready for setup, and being a management game, we really need to have the championship started to enjoy all the real races and watch every 5 days what your team is doing. Then you can
Wow.
just decide to go ahead and quit your game and wait for the next week.
Wow. Rookies.
Yeah, I
David,
really hope to improve it for the graphical point of view, for everything really. Now it's more or less in a prototype stage. The graphics temporary, 3D mods are temporary, but yeah, I needed to show that finishing the game is possible.
yeah, David, thank you again for the rundown here for Rookies. It's really impressive to see how much you've been able to do just by yourself. Number one, from just, building out the game, doing, the AI, a lot of people to race themselves. But then even on top of that, adding things such as the mailbox, the doctor. It's just really impressive to think that you've been able to come that far on your own. So again, I really do wish the best for you. And I think that this is more than a sufficient prototype for you to be able to earn some of that catalyst funding that you're requesting. And I'm really looking forward to having you on here in the near future. Now, we are getting to the end here. I do have to run just due to time constraints. I will definitely be staying in touch with you personally, right? And just giving the community updates surrounding Rookies in the near future as well. So for anybody who enjoyed today's video, again, make sure to go ahead and check this out on your own. You can download the alpha right now. I'll leave the official links to rookies.org down below. I'm also going to leave the link to David's proposals down below in the description as well. If you guys want to give those a read, and if you're registered, consider giving that an upvote. Last but not least, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. It does really make a difference. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this focusing on Cardano, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions surrounding Rookies for David or myself, then please make sure to go ahead and leave them down below. That said, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.